So, hello YouTube, welcome back. It's been a while, and to be frank, I never thought I'd be here sitting in front of you guys. Well, that's life for you, you never know what's gonna happen, and that's the beauty of it. So, let's get straight to the point. I'm here because you guys on Instagram have been asking me a lot of questions about track riding, so I decided to make a little video about the same to enlighten you guys and share some information about the same. So let's get straight to it. So the first frequently asked question that I get is, why do I do it? What's in it for me? And why do I take my bikes there? So this is the most frequently asked question. And the second question which I get is, should you guys do it? Is it safe? Should you guys take your bike to the track in India? So that is the question everybody wants to know. And the third question is, what is the procedure of taking your bikes to track? So in this video, I'm going to be talking about all of these questions. So stay tuned. So the first question, why do I do it? Well, let me start off with a story. In 2015, when I got my Duke 390, it was a fun time. I remember going through country roads, going through twisties with full open throttle, and I wanted to do something different. I wanted to, get to know the bike better, because at scenarios, at certain points, while riding my Duke 390, I realized that the only factor or the only thing holding my bike back was myself, and I wasn't happy with it. So I decided I'm gonna improve myself, and at that time I didn't know there was a track where you can go. In Kochi we don't have a track, in Kerala we don't have a track, so I wasn't aware about it. Nobody told me about it, and there wasn't much information about it. So I started practicing on the roads. Yes, bad mistake, bad move, but I did it because nobody told me that I couldn't. I knew it was illegal, but I think that made it more fun. But looking back at it now, I realize how dangerous that was. But nonetheless, I started practicing on the roads. It was early 2016, and that time at that moment of riding, I had my Mercedes W-rated tires. I still have W-rated tires on my Duke, but those tires were just incredible. The amount of grip they offered and the amount of confidence they gave me. So I was like taking the bike to twisties at Adirapalli every chance I got, every weekday. Early morning in Hartal, I used to take my bike there to practice cornering. So I used to do something like this. So I got better. I got better at it. I started from doing something like this and ended up with this on roads. So I learned a lot of mistakes there, which became muscle memory, which was difficult to error out or correct out. I remember when I used to wake up 3:30 in the morning and start my bike up at 4, head there, reach there by 4:30, start practicing early morning. Those were the times. So the thing which I want to tell is, I get easily distracted and I go off topic, but this is really relevant and I want you guys to pay attention to it. So at Adirapalli I learned a few things. I learned how to corner, how the basics work. I referred books. So I downloaded ebooks such as Twist to the Rest from Keith Code, which taught the basics of cornering, and I started practicing there. So I have a decent body position, but I was nowhere up to speed. That speed factor is a big thing. I look fast on a photo, but in reality I'm not. So I wasn't happy with that. I have to get faster. That's when I realized there's this track day KTM organizes. KTM organizes 2, 3, 4 track days in South India, in MMRT or Kari Motor Speedway, every year. So in 2016 was my first track day, and I remember it like it was yesterday. I was so tensed because there was a lot of people. In Adirapalli when I was cornering, there was only me, and I didn't have to watch out for anybody. I didn't have to I wasn't aware that I was being watched, so I could do all the things I wanted and nobody would give an F. So But there everybody was watching. There were people, my friends, everybody came out to see what I was doing. So there was a lot of pressure on me. I don't know why, because that was just how it was, and it was a lot of pressure on me. So this is me talking out. This is me talking my heart out. Mumbai, Bin Thomas was there. He's a guy I look up to. He's a really great guy. He's from Ankamali. He rides an RC like amazing. He has a stock RC. He rides the bike crazy. He was crazy fast, the fastest in the batch, and I wasn't the fastest in the top 5 or anything, but I was scraping my knees like anything. But people were watching me, and a lot of people came to me like, "Why were you scraping your knees? Was it that necessary?" Even I remember, the official were asking me to not hang off the bike that much because I didn't know. I thought, like most people, dragging the knee was a basic necessity. For the gram it was good, but for the track, not so much. So it was a decent track day. I wasn't the fastest in the batch. I didn't have even the top 5 best timing, but I had a lot of fun. So after a lot of KTM track days and a lot more of open track days, I finally started getting good at it. I really started to have a connection with the motorcycle. I started to understanding the limits of the motorcycle and was able to push those limits. And an year passed by, fast forward a year, and there came the India's biggest one-make championship, KTM one-make championship, which they claim to be the largest one-make championship happening in India. One-make championship is where a manufacturer hosts an event where you can ride only the manufacturer's selected motorcycle. But in KTM, you get to bring your own motorcycle. The owner gets to bring his own motorcycle and ride it on the track. So it was like a proper race setup. That was my first taste at a race. And I still remember the blood pumping through me. The adrenaline rush was like nothing I ever experienced before. And that was my first taste at a race. So I was there. I rode from Kochi to Chennai on stock tires, Metzeler W-rated Metzeler tires. I rode all the way from Kochi to Chennai, 800 kilometers. Participated in the race. In the practice, secured 4th fastest time. In the qualifiers, kind of like dropped out to 6th position. In the final race where it mattered the most, I couldn't get a proper start. I messed up. I went off track and I finished somewhere in the top 10. But it was good enough for me. I had a good timing, but I didn't finish in the top 3. But I had a decent good timing. That was the first race for me. And that started everything. I do remember the time where national champions came out and they were belting their RCs. It was just incredible to watch, and that lit a fire inside of me. That made me motivated, inspired. After witnessing all that RC action, I knew I wanted an RC, but I just didn't want any RC. I wanted a race spec RC. So I decided to build one, and that is the result you see here. So when it started out, I didn't have the budget. RC parts were very expensive to buy here in India, and it was not easily procurable, is the word. And every shop charges you almost 50% commission on the product, and the customs system in India doesn't help one bit. So it was in 2017 I started my project RC called Traxilla. Just check out my Instagram feed for the photos and details about it. We'll probably make a detailed video on it later. So it's one of the fastest RCs in India, and I've been riding that RC on track for like 1.5 years now, and trust me, it's a bomb on wheels. Then while taking the RC, then I never missed a track day happening. I always take my RC to the track whenever possible, whenever I get the time, and whenever there's a track day happening at MMRT, I will be there. So I really love that adrenaline pump. I feel the most alive when I'm on the bike ripping through MMRT, and I've done a lot of things in my life. A few months back, we made a project called the Lake Pulse, which was based on an impulse and a full suspension set from YSS, a custom engine built at home, and it was just incredible. We went through the lengths and breadths of India and back home on that engine, which didn't have any proper testing. It was built in 2 days and without any proper testing. We took it from Kochi to Kashmir and back to Kanyakumari on that engine, which was, oh my god. Just thinking about that gives me goosebumps. So I was ready to face what would happen. We used a custom made piston for it, a unicorn cylinder, and it worked. We reached home in one piece. So I see that as a victory. I had all that fun. I traveled, I took that bike to the highest motorable roads, to the bad roads, to water crossings, to river crossings. I took that bike everywhere, and believe me when I say this, the track is more alive than that. Riding my race bike at 100%, at my 100% through the track is what makes me feel alive, and that's why I do it. Because feeling alive means different things to different people. For me, it's pushing my limits, finding my limits, and exceeding those limits. So that is why I take my bike to the track. That is why I do track riding. So that's it. The second question: should you guys take your bike to the track? So let me just phrase it in another way so you guys can understand it better. Every manufacturers quote their 0 to 100 timings on their motorcycles. They test it. But no manufacturer discloses their 100 to 0 timings, because that is rider dependent. Most of you know your 0 to 100 timings, but do you know your 100 to 0 timings? If you do know, good for you, but that number can be brought down by obvious answer: to the track. Come to the track, push your limits, and that's how you bring your 100 to 0 number low. Most of you guys have sport bikes, and not being able to ride a sport bike the way it's meant to be ridden is quite a bummer. Nobody likes that. Even I don't like riding through traffic, especially my Duke 390, where you get tandoori legs. So it's not a good thing. So that's why tracks were built, so you can get away from all that traffic, all that hassle. Come to the track, just have fun. No one's gonna tell you to go slow, and there's not gonna be any oncoming traffic or any pedestrian crossing. There's just gonna be you and your motorcycle with other track-minded guys. So it's actually the perfect place for you to have fun with your motorcycle, that is. So I see that as a pretty good reason to come to the track. Another thing most people ask me is whether is it safe. The track is much safer than the road. On the road you have pedestrians, people crossings, cows, animals, wildlife, especially in India where it's filled with potholes, and you can't expect what will happen on the road. But on the track, it's a controlled environment. Every turn is pre-planned. Everything is planned. That's what I love about the track. There's no surprises. Yeah, you get a nasty high side when you do some crazy shit, but that's life. But it's still fun. You get up, you still ride the bike. It's all good. So I'm not gonna be scaring you about high sides now. So on the track is a controlled environment. There's no surprises. It's just you and your motorcycle with other like-minded trackers. So everything should be fine. You're gonna have a great time. And that's the best place to be on a motorcycle. It is really safe, and you're gonna be in your leathers with all protection, full gauntlet gloves, full length boots, and a leather suit. Leather is one of the most abrasive resistant material, so low slides won't even feel like a thing. Just trust me on this, that's the most safest place to be on a motorcycle. Trust me on this when I say the track is a much safer place to be on a motorcycle. I've crashed a lot of times on track and I have no scars to show for it. That's how safe the track is. So coming back, the third most frequently asked question, what is the procedure? Well, there's only one way you can get into a track, that is through an open session or through an academy. Most academies now throw an open session along with their track teaching sessions. So a track academy is where they have classes sorted into levels, level 1, 2, 3, 4, some even have 4, level 4. And they teach you braking, throttling, body position, advanced braking techniques, all that through levels. So there are a lot of academies present in India. The one which I recommend is Atomic Motorsports. They are just the best at what they do, and they have reasonable pricing. So in India, pricing is everything, and they nailed with the pricing. So if you guys are interested, hit them up on the Instagram page. So there's a track day coming up on 18th and 19th of October 2019, and I'll be there at MMRT. So catch you guys there. If you're interested, DM Atomic Motorsports. They'll be more than willing to help you guys out with any questions regarding to anything related to track riding. They will help you out. So that is the most easiest way to get into track riding. So there's another way you can actually do track riding. MMRT conducts open track days on second or third Sundays. They announce it on their Facebook page, and that is the cheapest way you have to do an open track day, because the price is at 1200 1100 rupees for 4 hours, quite affordable. But the thing is, you won't get any support, you won't get any guidance. Only through proper academies you will get proper guidance. Practicing on your own without any help from experienced riders, you will learn a lot of mistakes, and that mistakes will turn to muscle memory, which will take a lot of time to correct out. I started out at MMRT by myself through open track days at MMRT, which I learned a lot of errors, which actually took a lot of time to correct out. So the best way for you to hit the track, learn track riding, how to corner, is through an academy, and the academy which I suggest is Atomic Motorsports. Sorry guys, it's been a while and I'm a little bit rusty at this. So guys, that's all I have to say about that. If you have any further doubts or question regarding to anything related to motorcycle, hit me up in my Instagram page. The link is down below. And if you like the video, hit the thumbs up button. If you love the video, hit the subscribe button, because there's going to be a lot of content coming, and I do plan on making a lot of content related to motorcycles, of course. So see you.